Coming up in this episode, I stare at an engine. We try and make it across the Sound to Corsans with great speed. And I can't read mooring buoys.
I have just realised that it does say 28 private keep off.
Hello and welcome back. We are going out today, but because we've got very low wind and because it's good practice, we're doing some engine checks before we go. So let's get cracking with those. I've already done the oil. It's quite difficult on this engine. It's a Yanmar, and the oil is right round there. I'm not sure if the camera will pick up the little yellow dipstick there. The filters clean. Bilges, there's a bit of water in that one, but that's standing and it won't drain unless it gets any higher, so that's fine. That's been there for a while since the boat decided to flood itself. And there's also the bilge at the back over there by the stern gland, which looks pretty good. Belts, yeah, that's all right. The smaller one down there, yeah, that's fine too. Or I've checked, we're all water cooled anyway. They're clear. No obvious signs of drips or spills or anything like that. So we'll start her up, let her tick over for a little bit, make sure water's flowing through and coming out the exhaust and everything sounds and looks okay. And then we'll think about getting going. Okay, so we're running. We've got water coming out the back, so we're good to go. Cool, right. Ticking away nicely. All looks good. Now we can get ready to go. First things first, life jacket. So I was talking to a friend the other day about the troubles I was having with leaving the dock because Santana's got a nasty kick of prop walk and it tends to make me steer towards the boat next to me, which obviously is a bad idea. To which I bought two very large round buoys to help, large round fenders to fend me off from their boat. Well, the boat wasn't there today, and he said to me before, he said, well, why don't you just push Santana out of the slip? And since conditions today are near perfect, because there's very little wind at all, I thought I'd give it a go. And it kind of worked. I just pushed Santana back until I couldn't stand on the dockside anymore. Give her one last push whilst I jumped on board, and then let the momentum glide me out, and then turn the engine to reverse to pull me at the last little bit, and turn me around and take me out into the catwater. So, good shout. I'm not sure it would work with high wind, but that was definitely a much easier way of getting out than my normal attempts. But anyway, we're off now. Into the catwater. Weather forecast, I've waited until later afternoon to leave because the weather forecast for most of the day was 1 knot gusting 3, which is pointless. So the later afternoon one was about 3 knots, 4 knots gusting 7. I mean, it's better than nothing. So I thought I'd give that a go. So we'll just motor our way out of the catwater, head towards the Sound. I think tonight we'll probably just have a little play around in the Sound. Haven't managed to go out for a while because we've had storm after storm after storm on the south coast. So we'll go play in the Sound, I think, for the evening, maybe end up in Corsans. Try and practice some mooring, boys. And here comes the Mountbatten ferry. Now, it doesn't stop really for anybody, so I'm just not going to bother. It should just go in front of me anyway. Yeah, it's going to go across me, that's fine. That's it work. It's all going on. I've got quite a bit of traffic. I've got some kind of patrol boat or a small boat, the ferry, and another speedboat coming in one after the other. I'll just keep my bearing. Let them all pass me. Okay, that's us out, clear of the catwater and into the sound. Let's try and get the sails up. Try and get over the core sands. Right, sails. Somehow I don't think I'm going to need a reef at 7 or 8 knots of wind. Right, it's pretty much coming across the nose now. Annoyingly, that's the way I want to go. Okay, fine, we'll tack. Bring us, take off the preventer. Release the boom. Bring us up into the wind, which, to be fair, we're already facing. Turn, 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 turn. Stop there. Auto. Okay. Over into the wind. Sheet us in. Hopefully, have us there. Nope. Still close to the wind. Get very far out to Genoa, so let's do that next. Right, Genoa's up, main's up. Close hauled, wind's coming from over there. Which is annoyingly where I want to go, because core sands is directly that way. I could obviously just motor over there, I'll be there in half hour, 40 minutes. But we've got lights, so we might as well at least try and sail most of the way. The engine's on tick over, but it's not actually doing anything at the moment. It's in neutral. We are being pulled along solely by sail at a speed of 1.6 knots. Whoa, flying. Although that might actually be the tide, because the tide's going out at the same time, so you never know. Cool. Right, engine off, key up. Ah, that's much better. We are sailing. We are sailing at great speed of 1.7 knots. This has given me flashbacks to that time I tried to sail out of the Sound in low wind, which was lower than this, admittedly, so we're doing okay. Bearing in mind that 1.7 knots, probably a knot of that is tide. But it doesn't matter, it still counts. We're going forward at 1.7 knots. Gonna have to start thinking about tacking soon. I can hear some kind of motor, but it's not in the water. It must be on the side. 1, 2, maybe 2 hours left. Ish. 1.5 probably. Alright, let's see about tacking. Stand by. Off you come. Right, that worked out pretty well. We've tacked and we're kind of lining up with core sands. Look at this. We've lined up over there and it's kind of in that, where that little hollow is there. So if this holds, there's a chance I could just one tack this, which would be a feat of amazement. We'll see how we get on. Obviously there's a buoys to avoid, and I have just heard there's something rather large is coming out through the west entrance, of which I'm heading towards. So we'll see how that goes. It's probably the giant ferry. We'll see. 2 knots of speed, so not exactly super speed, but we're underway. We've got 7 knots of wind. We are pinching as close as possible. There is Celtic Mariner. They're holding their anchor up. They're raising their anchor up now and coming in. And over there, if you can just see it in the distance, is the other supply ship coming out, and that is going out here, where I'm going to be going across. So it may need that I need to put my engine on so I can manoeuvre out of the way of them. We'll see how it goes. Currently I'm just avoiding this. I had to alter course to avoid this rather large mooring buoy, I guess. But we're following those. We're following those marks over there up the coast into that corner. So we're doing all right. Sail's looking good, except for that down there. I don't know if you can see. There's a little hole that's appeared in the bottom of my Genoa. Not sure what that is, but I can only sort it out by unfurling it all. So I'll have to do it in low winds or something. Maybe back in the Marina. Maybe I can do it on the mooring buoy. I'm not entirely sure. It depends if there's no wind. Otherwise, obviously the sail will be flapping around everywhere. It's always something to fix. So I've been watching this Scott line here, and it's really not moved much on my thing, so it does suggest that it's going to be very close coming through this channel. I'm just going to reel in the Genoa. That will probably cut my speed down to half a knot, and that will solve the problem. So let's do that. Yep, cut my speed. I've gone from 1.5 knots to 0.8.
And where are you departing from, Marina? Yacht Haven 4 POV.
Right, that's then passed. Out it comes again.
Celtic Mariner, currently just
with great speed. Not really. Oh well. Of course, the wind's now dropped to 4.5 knots, so we've gone down to 1 knot of speed with Genoa. I wonder if I can sort out that sail piece now. See, this has dropped. I don't really know why. That's on tight. Is it the top end? I don't know. Maybe it's just loose. Maybe it's just there. Looks alright there. Right. Oh, I've got the weight from the tanker now. I got the weight from the tanker. Let's get back. Right, as you can hear, we've had to stick the iron sail on to get us across the bay in time. We've just kind of come across the entrance, the western entrance of the breakwater. Here. Tanker's now long in the distance over there. And you can just see a bit more swell coming in from the ocean because I'm now exposed. So it's coming in from the English Channel as I nip across and try and tuck in here. Of course, the other problem I completely forgot about is the reason I'm hiding here is so that I don't get stuck in the southwesterlies overnight, which means that the wind won't be there for me to sail into anyway, because we're that low anyway. We're at 5, 6 knots of wind, but that's probably a parrot wind at this point because we're motoring. So we're still doing 2.4 knots on the speed. So at least a knot of that is motor. Everyone's kind of gone in. There's a few sailboats over there. They're playing around. I'm not on my own. The trade-off for me leaving a little bit later to get some of that wind to play with also meant that I'm now a little bit late in the day getting to where I want to be. And there's a lot of pot boys around here, so I really don't want to be looking for them in the dark. I can see 3 already. And one of them straight off my bow, so that's helpful. Pot boy. There's one straight off my bow as well. See, they're so small. See it? Little orange thing in there. There's one you can, well, you probably can't see it on the camera, but you can see its reflection glinting on the water in front of me, which is why I can see it now. So I'll turn in a minute. I can see a couple of boats in the anchorage over there, which is good. So that's kind of where I'm heading. I'm looking for a mooring buoy. If you see my previous videos, you'll know that I don't have a windlass, and I really don't like hand pulling up 30-meter chain, especially when I'm solo sailing. So I will be looking for a mooring buoy. Of course, I haven't actually moored up to a mooring buoy before yet. I've practiced, but I never actually did the mooring up bit. So that'll be interesting. Although when I practiced, I wasn't really happy with how it went. So I'm thinking about trying something a little bit different. Because my boat is so small, I've been told that why don't you just pick it up in the cockpit and walk it to the front. So I'll try that. I don't know. We'll see how we go.
you on and out of the way. One. No, come on. Two. There we go. Right. Where are we going? Right, so I've got two options of boat hook. The regular one and a weird, like, mooring buoy one that I was given. So we're going to try the mooring buoy one and see how that works. But either prep it with a line first as well. So we'll do that while we're getting close. It would help if I could see the mooring buoy. So we'll use these. Potentially two on the end over there, I think.
As I was entering Corsands Bay, I was struggling to find a number to clarify which mooring buoys were for visitors and which ones were for locals. At the same time, this yacht has come past me and told me they've just dragged their anchor, so now I'm a bit more worried about mooring buoys. Looking at the bay, there's more red and white ones than there are orange ones, which I believe, or I thought at the time, meant that the red and white ones were for locals and the orange ones were for visitors, which I thought was a sound judgment. Turns out later it's the wrong way round. Thankfully, it was the end of the season. It didn't really matter. But during high season, wouldn't advise. I'd definitely do it the other way around and use one of the visitor buoys. Anyway, back to the video.
I don't really know what the rule of thumb is here because I got different colour mooring buoys. They're red, orange, they're yellow. That one's white and red. I'm waiting for that one there, I think. There's one right in front of me, but it's got like a stick on it, like a light. In fact, I think it is a boundary, it's a light buoy, so I couldn't even moor that one if I wanted to. Alright, we'll go for this orange one over here. Wind's blowing that way. Not that it matters. Just coming down the port side now. Starboard side even, I can see it. That's it, just drift onto it. I need you to hold it steady though, because I want to be able to just hook it. That's it, I can see it, it's just here. Other way, other way, other way, other way. Don't want to hit it. There we go. There we go.
Now, looking back, I appreciate it does say in rather large letters, keep off private. However, at the time, all I saw was an orange mooring buoy, and I was getting a little bit more worried about drifting off of it and not having control of the boat. So it wasn't until I actually relaxed a little bit later that I realised that it wasn't actually a visitor's mooring buoy. I did try to find a contact number of anybody at the time, but there was no avail, so I just resigned myself that if I had to move later on, then I would, and I left all of my stuff out just in case I had to shift onto a different one later. As it happened, no one came out, no one asked me to move on, and a lovely night was had. So, sorry again. I'll know for next time.
We are attached. Right, let's get that properly sorted now. We'll do a bridle. There we go. Like that. So that one can go in there. That one can come in there. Come down to here. Come down this way. And then lock that off. Oh, X. Oh, tight. Right. There's one. I have just realised that it does say 28 private keep off. I'm hoping that it's the end of the season and they won't mind. Most boats are out of the water by now anyway. Then we'll put a second one out. Right, that's effectively the boat put to bed. Sail covers are on, lines are tidied, out of the way. I've got a space to move in the cockpit again now, although it's starting to get quite cold. So time to go and see what we've got for tea. I can't be bothered to go ashore and row. I'd have to get the dinghy out, blow it up, and then go over. Maybe in the morning? I don't know. What is it that keeps slapping? I've got a halyard some. Oh no, it's inside the mast. Now I remember. Annoyingly, inside there's a halyard slap, but it's inside the mast. It's like a cable or something. You can hear it. It's that, and it's none of the lines because I've already tied them all away. So it's inside the mast. We've also got this grown. The rudder grown, but I'm used to that. So, right, let's go below and probably get a jumper at the same time. I can take this off now. Whew. But look at it though. new piece of kit I bought today that I actually haven't used yet. Hand bearing compass. This is the one that I got with the boat, and I'll be honest, it's so old I don't actually know how it works. It's called a capstan by Rigel Compasses, but the numbers on it don't really make sense to me. I've only ever used one of these, so I picked one up in the chandlery whilst I was getting the bits for the water repair. But yeah, so hand bearing compass. Didn't need it today, obviously, but it's here if I do. We have settled. We are done. We have got tea with a nice warm winter stew, homemade, pre-made before I left. Not by me, obviously, so thanks, love. As she wished me out the door on this silly thing of solo sailing. A nice crusty baguette to go with it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you like what you've seen, then please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Pop a comment in and let me know if there's anything you liked, anything you want more of. It's a bit low wind sailing, so not too exciting. But the mooring buoy was cool. That was the first time I've picked one up, and I've been checking it a couple of times, and it's all fine. So perfect. So until we see you on the next one, thank you for watching, take care, and we'll see you again. Goodbye.